Show all the love to Mr. Clint Howard! Bryce Dallas Howard! And Mr. Ron Howard!
That wakes us up this morning.
That's right. Hello, welcome, good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Everybody's good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Have you,
Feeding off the energy.
you gotta feed off of this energy. It's a beautiful crowd. Make some noise for yourselves. Yes.
By the size, and then on top of that, just the real genuine enthusiasm and appreciation for what we do, and it really makes it worth it to come out here and visit.
Love it.
I would say the same exact thing as what you said, Uncle Clint. You can feel the love, the joy, the enthusiasm for storytelling, for character, and the community that exists because of that. And it means so much to me. It means so much to us. It means so much to everyone who comes here, and is sitting behind the table that you all show up. And it's also, for me personally, it was incredible because I'm here with my family. And I've also gotten to hang out with the Skeleton Crew kids and all the Twilight folks. So, it's wonderful. It's been a blast.
And I took a few minutes and walked through yesterday the floor, and because I could just feel there was so much fun going on over there that I wanted to see what it was about. And it was a blast. And I made a video and I sent it to my wife Cheryl and my partner at Imagine, Brian Grazer, and I said, "This feels like Mardi Gras without the debauchery." It's really, the energy is so great, and this is my first time at a convention like this. But I'm told it's one of the best.
Absolutely.
And I can see that.
So I gotta know, what is the origin story of the Howard family when it comes to acting?
Well, the origin story begins in Oklahoma. It's my mom, whose name is Jean Frances Spiegel. She was born in Duncan, Oklahoma.
That's right.
My father, whose name back in those days was Harold Beckenholt, who was born on a farm in Cedarvale and Kansas. And separately in the 30s and into the 40s, they had this dream of being actors. And Mom wanted to be like Lana Turner, and my dad wanted to be like Gene Autry or Roy Rogers, a singing cowboy. Nobody told him that he couldn't carry a tune, thank God, because he kept up with the dream. They met each other at the University of Oklahoma, and they went on this adventure together, very romantic. It must have scared the daylights out of their families because they had no business believing they could make it in the entertainment world, and yet they did. And then the other thing, when I was born, my dad was directing theater, and they realized that I had an aptitude for this. Mm-hmm. And I started picking up on the dialogue, and they had no enthusiasm for being stage parents per se, but they just felt like, my dad felt like, well, I might not be able to share a lot, but I can share what I know about acting with Ron, and then eventually with Clint. And that led to things like, you know, the Andy Griffith Show and Jen Shah. And the big blessing was we just stayed as a tight family. I'll put in a plug for our book, The Boys, a memoir of Hollywood and family. We talk a lot about our childhood, and we talk a lot about our parents who did change the course of our family history. Now then, I'll just carry this one. So Clint and I had our careers, loved it. I turned into, you know, went to directing, Imagine Entertainment, loved all of that. Bryce started to show a real aptitude for it early on, and she would ask about it, and my wife Cheryl and I would say, no, we can't let you be a child actor. We don't have the bandwidth to do what my parents did, which was really supervise us.
Right,
you know?
right.
And plus I felt like that, you know, even though different gender, the sort of the Opie mythology was a little bit tough, you know, too much to ask a kid.
Of course.
To sort of face as a child performer. But I said, do everything you want to do as a student. And Bryce was unbelievable. She did every show, every summer program, everything. And by the time, you know, she was, I don't know, 14 or 15, I could see that she could be a professional, you know, anytime she wanted to be. And yet we still didn't allow it, and she kept learning, and she's never stopped learning, and now she's carried that into directing. And the thing I love, and this is the last I'll say about this, is Bryce is into this for the right reason. She loves the process, and she loves the audience. And it's not about any,
You know, I watched her have this dream of wanting to be, you know, in the storytelling business, in the entertainment business. First, she was a performer. She was wonderful, man. She would hit the stage and friggin' just rock. But I had the opportunity to be directed by her in the very first thing she directed. It was a Lifetime Channel TV movie, and it was her segment of the movie. It was like 4 or 5 segments. It was Call Me Crazy. And it was a story, it was sort of like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, a little bit, and I played one of the cuckoos. And actually, she also drafted her mom to play a cuckoo. You know, so anyway, I'm there working, doing my thing, and I'm watching Bryce direct. And my God, I grew up watching my brother direct. And her mannerisms, her physical mannerisms on the set, as far as being behind the video village, you know, looking at the monitor and then coming out and whispering to an actor and giving an actor little notes and then rallying the crew and doing all those things, it was like a friggin' carbon copy of her dad. But she did do one thing, and I called Ron that night and I said, you gotta be proud, because she's kicking ass. And I told her, I said that she's directing just like you, except she does one thing. See, she goes up and at the last minute, a good director will come up and give an actor a little note. Hey, you should have that a little bit pacey, or just pick up the pace a little bit. And Bryce does the same thing. You know, can you give me a little more energy? But Bryce's thing is she plays with the actor's hair.
Yesterday, before the photos, she's like fixing my sweatshirt and chunking my, look, I don't have much. And yet somehow it's still not good enough for the photo session. It's a really good question. I mean, look, as both a consumer and producer at Imagine Entertainment and as a director, I love what's happened. I love that there's a kind of a narrow casting. Stories can be more specific, and there are reasons to make stories. Audiences don't have to be so huge,
right,
for a show to be successful and find a loyal audience and run,
right,
you know, so that's all great. You know, by the same token, it doesn't feel any easier. I don't know what the people whose autographs you're getting, they work real hard and they really have to keep hustling.
Of course.
And to try to keep proving themselves over and over again. The competition somehow is higher than ever. And yet I do feel like there's a kind of the globalization of entertainment is a really healthy thing. And I think all cultures are learning from one another, and I think performances are getting better, I think direction is getting better, and you know, and I think us, the audiences, you know, benefit.
Absolutely. we're kind of famous, aren't we? When did you realize that?
It's so interesting because it was sort of like a slow dawning realization, but I really wasn't exposed to scenarios where I would feel that.
Gotcha.
So for example, like, I think because they were both raised on their parents' sets that then became their sets,
Right.
it felt very natural to bring children to set. So I got to constantly go to set with my dad, starting from a very young age, and I absolutely loved it. And so my perception of his job and of the, quote unquote industry was the crew. And the actors were certainly a part of it, but I was kind of kept away from the actors because I'm like, I'm an annoying kid, so that I was really, it was really the crew, and so and I went to a couple of premieres. I remember, this is a very, very vivid memory, and this doesn't have to do with kind of like celebrity in our family, but I was like, oh, fame. I was at, we were in Tokyo, and we were showing Far and Away to the royal family, and I was 11. And Tom Cruise is, I'm sure you all know this, is extraordinary when it comes to press and fan engagement and all of that, just, absolutely tireless. And he was walking in front of me, kind of like 10 feet in front of me on this red carpet, and all the fans were excited, and he was waving, and he got a little too close, and his arm got sucked in, and then his entire body got sucked into the crowd. And at that point, I just knew Tom as the guy who works with my dad, and like Nicole, they were awesome. He would do backflips on set to entertain us, like truly, literally. So it was just like, it was like my dad's like young friend,
Right.
kind of. And seeing him get sucked in there and then everyone kind of diving in after him, I was like, is he dead? It was really crazy. And then they pulled him out and he sort of shook it off and then he kept going. And I was like, is this because people love him? Like it was a really kind of weird moment, but not a bad moment,
Gotcha.
She was going to do what she wanted to do, didn't seem to care.
I didn't care they could take anything away from me, I didn't care.
Instead, if she would say, you can't go to the set tomorrow if you do that. And that would be the line that Bryce would fall in.
Yeah, that happened in 5th grade once, and it was like a big moment where my mom was like, you can't go to set tomorrow. And I was just like, and I remember crying and being like, you're ruining my life. Like, how could you do this to me? For real, sincerely, it was big.
And on Apollo 13, Colin Hanks and Bryce Dallas Howard were our best set PAs.
I can't say that we were the best, but we were very earnestly trying.
That lunch was there, man. The order was done, put in right correctly.
I love it.
And they were all waiting in line for how long? Maybe an hour? Just to see you guys.
No pressure.
You two must get extra rings.
We do a bit. Best part, I'll do that one. I'm not just saying it, but being able to stand in front of so many people like you guys right now is the best ego rub you will ever get. But also as well, just being able to travel around the world as well and meeting people who have such connection with Potter or other stuff we've done is really, really exciting.
We're lucky that we've come from a series that, 99.9% of people's experience of Harry Potter is always such a warm, loving, feeling that they have, and I feel like people feel as part of the series as we do. Like it's it's all of our experience and we all have our own. So it's always lovely to hear how it's impacted someone's life, or how maybe it's brought them closer to a family member, or how they met their partner, or all these things. Or generationally, you meet now 3 generations of Harry Potter lovers. So yeah, I feel, to me, definitely the good always outweighs the bad. The books meant so much to people, the characters meant so much to people, people have their vision of the character, and you always have to remind yourself that it was always our interpretation, right, of these characters, or the director, how they were leading you through the story, or again, how the adaptation had been made from the book. Like, there were so many things of our characters that we didn't get to include, so we always have to just know that within ourselves and channel that within ourselves.
How did you evolve as actors and as people throughout the years of filming? Because you were growing up too.
For me, right at the beginning, you were almost just a child being a child, but then as the scenes got more challenging, or the character got more challenging, you were then like, oh, I'm an actor, kind of thing. And whereas I don't know, it changed, I think, the professionalism of it, or what was needed of you. So it was a massive learning curve that I kind of, until the films really finished, was I able to really understand and comprehend actually what a wild, kind of big experience that was. I think when you were in it, you were just in it and you were being present, but it wasn't really till afterwards that I was like, wow, that was like a lot to kind of absorb and take in for 10 years of a young person's life.
I said a couple of times before that I was a very shy kid when we first started filming. Like, incredibly
Really?
shy. Yeah, I was more than happy to be one of the crowd. I probably not the ideal thing to be when you're playing Fred Weasley, but
It's pretty outgoing.
yeah, exactly. But then playing that character forced me to be that. I don't think I get embarrassed nearly as much as I used to, because even if something goes drastically wrong, I'll be the first person to laugh at myself. If you laugh at yourself, it doesn't matter if anyone else does. But I say, like, you learn more from your failures than you do any success, I think, sometimes.
Definitely.
And like you kind of learn how to, what works, what doesn't, what you can do, what you probably shouldn't do. Although I still haven't mastered that last bit. But yeah, it's all, every day's a learning day, you know. The first scene that you see the Weasleys at King's Cross Station in Sorcerer's Stone, I would go back and reshoot that, because my voice is so high. It's always on every Christmas day. Every Christmas day I get at least 5 text messages from friends who are obviously watching it with their families or whatever, saying, how high is your voice? So while we're on set the whole time, you can just be the character, or you can be whatever. And seeing as Fred and George didn't honestly care what anyone thought, I kind of just lent into that bit, really. And that was kind of why they had the clothes they did, why they, especially in the later films, when they were like making Visiting Weasley days, that like tailored suits and everything. And yeah, I wouldn't change any of it, because at the same time I'm there thinking, like, you may look at it and think, oh, I don't know very cool in this. Because some of the stuff is horrendous. Like, there's a shirt they wear in the 5th film when they're on the bed and they learn to apparate, which is the foulest shirt I've ever seen.
Was somebody on set that was a mentor to you? They told you something and that just stuck with you?
No, to be honest, there's a few things what the older actors would advise us, like, while we're in an acting point of view. But in terms of actually like conducting yourself, I think you just follow their example. You kind of like watch, okay, these are what the older guys are doing. These are like, you know, Oscar winners, BAFTA winners. They're quite happy to just sit there and just wait for their turn to be called on set. So you kind of follow that example, really, and you think how lucky we are to be doing what we're doing. One of my favourite memories was on the 6th film, I worked on the crew as well.
Oh, cool.
So I've actually got 2 credits on the Half-Blood Prince. The first thing I learned was there's always someone there earlier than you, and they'll be staying later than you. So if you've got a 8 a.m. call time, that means someone's been there at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
and they're smiling and they're happy to do something. But in doing that, so I was with Michael Gambon quite a lot. And so obviously filming the Half-Blood Prince, he's got quite a lot of cool scenes and important scenes going on.
But I just tried to be a sponge to any kind of information he could give, and his way of doing things, and just his humour and things like that. And he was such a nice guy.
Random other story, I remember the only time I went on the Gringotts ride here, it was like opening and the whole thing shut down and we had to walk off the entire ride. So that's the last time I visited Gringotts. I didn't do it for the first film because I was only in one scene, but for the other films, I think maybe I started actually on Prisoner of Azkaban, but I have every single book, maybe from Prisoner of Azkaban, signed by everyone from each film. Kind of like a yearbook you get at school, I don't know, I made it that. So I have almost all the books signed by everyone, but they're just at my parents' house, they're not in any...
Fred.
I mean, I played a good character for so long, I definitely would step on the other side and play some evil character, even though it would be very, like, everyone is so great at their performance, I would be like too nervous to. But it would definitely be fun to be Bellatrix for like an hour, maybe just an hour. I think my favorite like scene to be in the middle of was for sure in the Battle of Hogwarts, when Molly Weasley and Bellatrix had that.
Why?
Apparate. Because as lovely as aeroplanes are, you'll make getting here way quicker. Yeah, get apparate.
It's very like the obvious one, but Expelliarmus. For a number of reasons.
If we were to scroll through your social media feeds, what 3 things would we find that you're interested in your algorithms?
Manatees. Really inappropriate jokes. That's one. Space.
Ooh, I love space
I'm
too.
a huge space geek.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I need y'all to make some noise for Mr. Brandon H. Lee, Tanner Buchanan, Yuji Okoro, Elizabeth Shue, and Mr. Martin Cole, and Miss Mary Mouser. y'all doing today? Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's the end of the show right there. That's a long weekend. I respect it. Have you guys had a good time here at MegaCon?
It's been a great time, for
It's
sure.
been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
It's my second MegaCon, and it was, I will say, like, it was already super fun the first time, but
Right.
this time's already topped it.
That's all you.
It was so much. We had so much and so little time, but we did the best we could. I mean, that brawl, when we started going through that, we started learning it only really about a week before. I feel like
That's it?
Yeah, and then
That was a generous amount of time.
Yeah,
Compared to
that's a lot of
sometimes.
For the level of fighting that should have took like 2-3 years to figure out.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
We have so many of them back to back, especially this season, that it's been, I mean, it was like, learning all of our capture the flag, perform capture the flag like 2 days later. Learn your captainship fights, perform the captainship fights. Learn the rest of the season got kind of shot wacky out of order, so it was a little bit of like, you do what you can do.
Man, that's insane. I love every bit of it though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I was gripping my chair. I was gripping my chair for you. I just want you to know. Yeah.
Well, I was very honored to be included in the Cobra Kai family.
That's right.
They didn't ask me for many years, so I wondered whether it would ever happen. No, I'm joking. Actually, I was a little worried about going on the show at first because I didn't like the way my character had been written out of Karate Kid 2.
Well.
Okay. So once the guys told me that we could discuss what happened, actually the real truth,
Yes.
I was game. Yes, very game.
That's right.
Without Allie, there is no Karate Kid. There is no Cobra Kai.
Facts.
Can you imagine an alternate universe without Allie in which Johnny and Daniel like met on the beach and they're like, hey man, like, let's be bestest friends.
It's a testament to the writers. I think they have done such a wonderful job creating these iconic characters in Cobra Kai and bringing us back into the fold. It's so much more fun for me to play a three-dimensional character instead of being this one-dimensional a-hole. I tell you, Billy and I always talk about it all the time, how blessed we are to have a redemption arc in Cobra Kai. And we always talk about how before, when we're doing Karate Kid and all that, we always get called, on the street, hey, you're that asshole, you're that jerk, I hate you. And then fast forward, we're doing Cobra Kai, now it's like, Johnny, we love you, man.
I wanted to be more vulnerable than Karate Kid 1, and when we made the deal, I said, listen, I'm not interested in doing a repeat of that same tough guy, one-dimensional, cold-hearted character, And I told him, I said, you have to write some vulnerability, write backstory, give me an arc to the characters, some color, and they did it, they did it well.
Johnny's definitely the super fun to watch. I loved, seeing a different side of Daniel. Like, everybody asks often, like, who's your favorite of the senseis that you've gotten to learn under? I really agree. Like, I love Daniel with Johnny's influence. So, and in the same way, Johnny with Daniel's influence. But I feel like, and I always don't want to spoil anything, but, because we're only a few days away now.
Just a couple more
but,
days!
but I will say, actually, Robbie's arc has been one that I've really appreciated now, getting to sit back and look from an outside perspective.
I actually love the storylines between Peyton and Mary. I love that female warrior routine. I just love it. I love the way they fight. When they were fighting, yeah, it really is. They're just terrific. These kids have come up a long, long way from the beginning of the show, and they're wonderful. And when I watch even Amanda come into my dojo and smack me, and she hit me and she couldn't do it. She kept missing me, and I said, "Go for it, honey," because I wanted the scene to work. It was a good scene.
That's
Ralph's wife comes to my dojo and tell me that I'm a bully. Perfect. The women in the show are depicted so well. Peyton and Mary, and it's really good stuff. And I love that. I just love watching the women just a woman can do everything a man can do.
That opening scene with Ralph and Tamlin, who plays Kumiko, we met this bar, and when I come in, they wanted me to be apologetic, and I said, but I can't be. I gotta be chosen. And come in hard, right? So the payoff at the end would make sense when I honk him and get my revenge, right? Otherwise, if I come in soft, then there's no payoff. So I said, let me come in hard and then really give Daniel-san a run for his money, so then the payoff would work. But my God, it was so like going back to Karate Kid 2 days. So comfortable, so easy. Ralph is so awesome to work with. And being with Tamlin again, it was like butter, and I was so grateful. It's been such a great journey and a great ride.
Being a lifelong martial artist, like, shows like this is the show.
Of course.
Like, you know what I mean? Right? We're us martial artists, so I still have imposter syndrome, even like sitting up here with these people right here. But you know, the moment I got to be on, you know, I was like trying not to poop myself. But then the moment I met these wonderful souls, like they're so warm, collaborative, and just like, ooh, I'm still going through puberty apparently. Yeah, it just makes it so easy to work, and I was able to like just get in the zone, and next thing I know, I'm up here and I'm like, holy crap, this is crazy. So thank you guys.
Of course. What has been your favorite installment of the Karate Kid franchise?
I would say Karate Kid 1. I mean, like, that's the...
Classic.
Whenever I like watch that movie back now, I watch it through the eyes of like, oh, these are the stories that Samantha probably heard growing up, you know, when you like get sick of hearing your parents and be like, and I walked 12 miles uphill to school, and I somehow also walked 12 miles back uphill home. But anyway, but I feel like that one has the most nostalgia for me.
You know what I'm thinking. No, it's Karate Kid 1. I gotta give homage to Karate Kid 1. Because Elizabeth is...
Yes! Karate Kid 3 was interesting because it was originally written for me. Of course. It was John Kreese's story all the way through, stinging Mike Barnes, you know, and training Ralph. It was all written for me. And then I couldn't do it because I got a TV series. So the bottom line was, it was bittersweet. And they brought in this character called Terry Silver.
Yes.
And he did everything I was supposed to do in the show. It sends me on vacation.
Cobra Kai or Eagle Fang?
My answer is so easy. My answer is Miyagi-Do for sure.
Okay.
Oh, you better guess it right.
Cobra Kai. It's Cobra Kai all the way. It's Cobra Kai.
Thank you very
It's Cobra
much.
Kai. Elizabeth.
Eagle Fang.
I'll say Chosen Do.
Miyagi-Do.
I might have to run off the stage here for my sensei after this, but me as Brandon,
Yes.
Miyagi-Do.
Joseph, thank you so much for finishing strong with us here at Orlando MegaCon.
God, it's loads here. Gee, hello.
Working on Stranger Things meant diving into the iconic 1980s atmosphere with a mix of nostalgia and horror.
It did.
Can you share any memorable moments from set that really helped you understand your character's place in the world?
Memorable moments. I suppose Eddie's intro, his first scene, where he's quite, oh, thank you. You watched it? Nice. Where he is quite loudly declaring who he is in quite an arrogant way. I think that was quite a revealing thing as to quite a misunderstood young man, I suppose. Yeah, I guess that moment. I remember getting an email from the Duffer Brothers during the COVID hiatus. Remember that? Yeah. And they just asked me, like, can you play guitar? And I said, yeah. And then I didn't hear anything back from them until I got this scene, or this episode, this incredible scene, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I can play that. But I got to work on it, and that was great fun. And yeah, I still do play. I hadn't played for years. My guitar had been gathering dust, so it was a lovely excuse to kind of get back on the horse, as it were.
Can you talk about playing a character that's an outsider and misunderstood and getting into Eddie's mindset?
Well, I think I could just relate to that feeling, I guess. I think we can all feel at times on the periphery of whatever's going on. And I think, yeah, as a teenager, I didn't really necessarily feel that cool. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, I think it was just adolescence. It's just rough, isn't it? It's challenging. It's hormonal. Yeah. So I guess reminding myself of that headspace of there being a lot of life ahead of you, having to make decisions about what you want to do, and people growing at different points, and it's just a confusing time. So yeah, inner Eddie was kind of younger Joey.
In A Quiet Place, day one, silence became a powerful narrative tool in the story. Can you talk about adapting your performance to communicate your characters' inner turmoil and fear without relying heavily on dialogue?
Well, I think it was quite emblematic of my own internal dialogue of being in that film. I was very nervous, and myself and Lupita, I remember seeing Lupita Nyong'o. We were both kind of figuring it out as we went along, just like how much scared is too scared, you know, and trying to communicate with each other. But the thing is, thankfully, with this acting malarkey, it's about so much of it is you're thrown into a situation with someone that you don't know, more often than not you don't know them, and it's incredibly vulnerable. Like, you kind of have to cut through all of the bravado or ego or whatever we have to kind of be alive in the world and try and make something. And so doing that with her was an amazing experience. And so, and I think we got away with it, I think, which is good, yeah. I mean, it literally built ancient Rome. You might think that's funny, but he did. It's not a joke. It was, I remember, I walked onto the Colosseum on my first day with Fred. We're looking around, it's full of extras. It's like Romino over there, it's just, it was a complete, it's like when, in what other business do you go somewhere and that happens? It's so exciting.
Flame on!
Flame on, yeah.
I'm not going to get you in trouble and ask anything that's going to get you in trouble, but I do want to ask, what are you excited for fans to explore with this version of Fantastic Four?
The dynamic, really, the family dynamic. It's Marvel's first family. They really want to get it right. And I think the cast that they assembled for it, not only are brilliant people, but really choice actors. Vanessa Kirby, I've been admiring her work for so many years. We've had so many mutual friends, but I've never really properly met, and I'm so excited to kind of be her little brother. It's great. And Eben Moss background. He's a legend. He's such a brilliant actor and has done such detailed, amazing stuff with Ben Grimm and Pedro. Pedro, I love it. So it was such. I think the thing that we were really focusing on was trying to establish this dysfunctional, caring, loving family, and I hope that fans see that and feel that in the film. There, it was, the ceiling blew off. There was this one guy I remember just kind of, I don't know if I should tell the story, but he was so excited because the casting for Dune has been such a mysterious thing for so many years. And the Russo brothers were getting ready, it's like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're about to announce Dune. This guy in the back was going, Dune. It's gonna happen, we're about to show it. It's like, Dune. And then all these masks come out. He walks to the front of the thing, and the mask came off. Bear in mind, there was 3,000 people in that audience. I could hear his voice. And it was so, the thing is, it's just, the love for that franchise is so felt, and so, I mean, he was incredible as Iron Man, and what he's going to do with this, I have no doubt, will be equally as brilliant. So, yeah, exciting times. My favourite, also, I don't know what you're talking about. I like all of the Beatles. Whoever does that's going to have a great time. There's something about the role you're playing, but also the time in your life when you're playing it, the people who you're playing the role alongside. So I think it's hard to pick. I think I had a fantastic time on all. I've been so lucky. You know, I've had some amazing experiences over the last 3 years and worked with some brilliant people. And they are all close, all of the roles are close to my heart in different ways. So this is a very long-winded non-answer. It's all of them for different reasons. Yeah.
This or that, live in Hawkins or Westeros?
Hawkins, they're both pretty perilous. Westeros.
Westeros?
Sure.
That's a brave choice, my friend.
Yeah, I back myself. That'll be fine.
This or that, stage acting or on-screen performance?
Ooh, on-screen performance.
All right, this or that, hero roles or villain roles?
Villain roles.
This or that, more likely to survive the Upside Down or a Game of Thrones battle?
Well, I didn't survive that. So this, yeah, ouch. So yeah, the latter, I guess. Well, I was a bit gutted that I was like not going to be there down the line. So I was, what was I? I was very excited by the prospect of doing that Metallica sequence. I thought it was a lovely arc to a character. But again, I was a bit bummed out. So, but yeah, it was both. I thought this is going to be fantastic, and we do it, but then, what if I don't get to come back?
He has such a unique look and energy. How much of that was in the script, and how much of that did you bring to the character yourself?
Oh God, I don't know how to answer that. Yeah, I guess look-wise, this is what I've got. I can't get around that. I think the hair, again, thank God. And then the costume itself was a kind of constant work and collaboration, and then the duffers just kind of let me do whatever. I was doing something, and they were like, really? And I was like, yes. And then they just, it was a constant negotiation with the duffers.
Starstruck when you come to these things?
So I grew up loving the Lord of the Rings films. I'm going to show off now. I've met Andy Serkis quite a few times. I cannot believe how nice he is to me when I see him. And how kind he is. I mean, he's not like he's nice to everyone, but just I should shake him, I'm talking to him about, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, life's good, yeah, no, go on, let's go. And yeah, so I still get starstruck when I see him.